Hey everyone, Jared James here, and welcome to episode 72 of Today with Jared James. 72, that's crazy. That's a lot more than, wow, that's a lot more than I thought there was. Although not as many as people would like, because I've been getting a lot of messages lately. Did you retire from the podcast game? No, guys, we're just on a little bit of a break. As I always say, guys, if you're watching this, make sure you subscribe, leave us a review on the platform that you're listening on, both a 5-star review and a written. They both help. And by the way, please actually do that. I know you're used to hearing that at the beginning. We're going to talk about today. I don't know what we're going to title this, but we're going to talk about what's been going on the last couple of months. We'll talk some business. We'll talk some non-business. I may need you to carry the load a little bit today. I just got done shooting. I just got done with some meetings, had some meetings, which a lot of talking in them. And then we did a couple promos for upcoming events, and then did a Jared James show that's going to be released, by the way, very soon. By the time they're listening to this, it's probably been released on YouTube about, ways to kind of separate yourself when making offers, how to get your offers accepted, which people right now in low inventory markets, that's obviously a big deal for them. Then shot 5 trainings for next month's virtual coaching dashboard, where I covered 25 ways to get your offers accepted. 25. Who knew there were 25? That's pretty bonkers. So I may need you to carry the load a little bit, is what I guess I'm trying to say here.
I mean, I'm just coming off of my day coffee, so I'm good to go.
You name it your day coffee?
Yeah.
What does that mean? There's like a morning, a day, and a night?
Yeah. So nighttime coffee is usually if I have company, or that's a very Italian thing.
I was about to say, you sound so Italian right now. It's ridiculous.
It's like you want, let me make a pot of coffee.
By the way, nighttime coffee would basically be the only time that I drink coffee at home.
Really?
Yeah. It's when there's company, and like my wife makes coffee.
There are 2 different kinds of people. There are people who will drink coffee at night, and then there are people who are like, oh no, I can't have it past like 4 p.m. or otherwise.
Well, that's what my wife does. She does decaf though.
Right.
Now, do you do decaf or you go all the way?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I'm all man. I'm like, if I'm gonna have coffee, I'm gonna have coffee.
It's a coffee.
Yeah, what is that, right? That's like having like a sugar-free candy. If you're gonna have candy, you have candy.
That's true.
Right?
I enjoy candy as well.
Yeah, okay. We're going off the rails here. Regardless, we got a lot we're gonna talk about today. We're gonna be all over. Talk about going off the rails. I will do more podcasts. By the way, guys, I know a lot of you have been asking. I've got your messages, guys. I got them. Instagram. Those of you listening can't see me waving at the camera. I see your messages. I will do more podcasts with training things and, similar to what I just did, for YouTube on the ways to get your offers accepted. And I'm going to do more of those. These for me are just so lighthearted. It's like after doing, 12 episodes of whatever, just shooting content. These are a little bit more lighthearted. Give you a little more insight into, how I think, our interaction. We're going to talk about, the advance was announced since our last podcast. The Jared James advance was announced live. It's 100% going to be live in Nashville, Tennessee, October 18th and 19th. We're going to talk about the Oscars. The Oscars just happened.
Sure.
Who knew? Okay. We're gonna talk about me doing the first major event that I've done in a year, which was awesome with thousands of people. I went on vacation. I just switched barbers. You call them barbers?
Yeah.
Haircut people, barbers, for the first time in 27 years.
Stylists. You changed stylists.
How old are you?
26.
Okay, so I was literally getting my haircut by the person that I was before you were even alive.
True.
God. I'm going to talk about, I just booked a tour. We're going to talk about that. We hired new people in the office, which is always fun. We're going to talk about what, we're reading right now. We're going to talk, there's a lot we're going to talk about. We'll see if we're going to get to this. It might be a part 1 and part 2. We're going to talk about vaccines. We're going to talk about states opening, for people in the US. You had back surgery.
I did.
Okay. We'll talk about some stuff that went on with the PPC. We'll talk about the Stress Awareness Month. We're going to talk about DMX died.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
I mean, that
was a bummer.
Yeah.
I was really pulling for him, honestly.
Yeah. Well, there was some misinformation. We're going to talk about it. We'll probably end the show on the DMX talk. The funny thing is,
and on like such a poor note though.
Is it?
It's a bummer.
It's a bummer, but here's the good news. Half my audience has no idea who we're talking about.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, that's. I don't know how you know who DMX is, because DMX at his prime was not You in your prime. No. That was when you were still wetting yourself. Now I should tell the audience you wet yourself until you were 14.
That was last week. Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. All right. So let's get into this, guys. First off, let's just cover some of the advance was announced. Every year we do an event called the Jared James Advance. Last year we had to do it virtually for obvious reasons. This year there'll be a virtual option, just like we always have a live option, but we will be live and in person in Nashville, Tennessee, October 18th and 19th at the brand new Grand Hyatt right on Broadway. We're taking over the whole place. Our ballroom, by the way, and we'll see if this works out for us or not. Our ballroom is, for those of you that are listening or watching that were at the last live advance in 2019, I guess. Yeah. This ballroom is 2.5 times that size.
Oh, it'll work out.
Yeah. So as of now, we have a limitation on how many people, but we're hoping by October that we don't. I was looking at this, no joke. I was looking at this and I was like, if we can get like 300 people to come, because I was afraid everybody's gonna be afraid. I was like, if we can get 300 people to come, spread them out, won't be embarrassing. We'll have enough people that there's some sound. Our presence will be known.
Right.
And then we opened up sales a few weeks ago, and we sold over 300 in the first week.
Love that.
And that doesn't even take into our brokerage wide accounts, our bulk accounts, or whatever. So I was like, now I'm like, it's go time. Like now I'm talking to the Hyatt and I'm like, what's the limit? When's that supposed to change? Like when's the,
Right.
So as of now, guys, if you haven't got your tickets yet, get your tickets, jaredjamestoday.com/advance. I hate to use the cliches. It's going to be fire.
Is it going to be fire?
It's not going to be ice.
It's not going to be ice. I don't think so.
I mean, look, not to switch off. We're still taking vendors and everything right now. We're still, all that kind of stuff. But like when I say it's going to be fire, like I just did my first major event in over a year. I did the RE/MAX conference, RE/MAX R4 in Orlando. It was 2,500 people. So they toned it down. Oh my God, was it amazing.
Yeah.
Like, first off, kudos. I think a lot of people know I work with all the brands. They're all friends. They're all whatever. One of my best friends in the world runs RE/MAX, Nick Bailey, made the decision to do the event. And I give him and them so much credit because they're a publicly traded company. And, there's this whole thing like leaders lead. You know what I mean? And we do not live in a world right now where leaders lead. Like we live in a world right now where it's like, let's see which way the wind's going. What's the least probable going to get us in trouble? And then that's the way everybody goes and acts like they're leading. I mean, they really went out on a limb here and said, hey, in the middle of, while everybody is still freaking out and whatever, we feel like things are okay. We're going to do a live event. We feel like people need it and we'll give people an option. If you don't want to come, don't come. But if you do, and they did this really cool thing where on their lanyards, they had color coded.
Oh, nice.
So like, red meant like, stay the heck away. I'm bubble boy. I'm afraid of everybody.
Right.
Out of the 2,500, I think that was like 37 people.
Nice.
I don't even know why you're there. I mean, I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
If you're that whatever, why are you at a live event? Yellow meant like, hey, I'm good. Just don't get too crazy. Maybe fist bump.
Yeah.
Green meant like, maybe I'll need a pregnancy test after we greet each other. Like that means just go all at it, right? Although I learned later on that yellow, some girl came up to me and she came up and gave me a big hug and she was wearing yellow and I was like, whoa. Like I was like, are you good?
This is okay.
And she goes, yeah. And she goes, oh, no. Yellow just means I get to choose who I touch.
Oh, okay.
I was like, that is brilliant.
That is
like,
that's not bad.
I thought to myself, would I have thought of that?
I wouldn't have thought
you pick yellow.
Yeah.
That way, if it's somebody you don't, you're like, ah.
Have you been getting a lot of elbow bumps? I got a lot of those.
I won't do it.
Yeah. Okay.
I won't do it.
Yeah, you're not.
There are some things I have to draw the line, man.
Sure.
Like,
I think it's fun.
What are we doing?
It's fun.
I'm not about that life.
I kind of feel like a penguin a little bit. Just like,
Do I want to feel like a penguin? Of all the animals, I want to feel like a penguin.
It's one of the great ones, honestly. Yeah.
The penguin.
Yeah, the penguin.
That's a story for another day. I'm not sure that that's actually accurate. That's one of the great, Okay. Point is, event was awesome. Energy coming out to a live audience was it was fire. There you go again. That's why I was talking about it, because I probably said things in the beginning that I shouldn't have said, which is really just me overall. I have a great filter in that I don't say ridiculous things. I'm not a swearer. I'm not a,
True.
whatever.
True.
But sometimes to get an audience's attention, you have to say things that catch them off guard.
Yeah.
Otherwise, You know, it's like if you want to change somebody or change their pattern, you got to pattern disrupt. You got to, you got to say something. I remember one lady I had years ago, she came, I could see her in the line. She was waiting in line to come say hello. And I saw her and I'm like, oh God, here we go. It's always raining in her world. You know what I mean? She is just, so she finally gets her chance. She comes over to me and she starts complaining about her kid and her this and everything's always bad. And she's like starting to cry. And I looked at her and I said, maybe if you stop making dumb decisions, a lot of this stuff won't happen.
Right.
I literally said that to her. I was like, maybe if you stop making dumb decisions. And she was just like, what? And she came out of her little trance, pattern disrupt. Just hit her with a little, and I was like, all right, good. Now we can talk.
Yeah.
Because she needed a little, it's the same thing when you're on the stage. Like anybody can get up there and be like, you need to think big and then think bigger. You need to, like half the, you can't control what happens in life, but you can control how you react to it. All the crap that everybody says, that's just the same, they opened up a fortune cookie and went, this will work on stage. I have such a loathing for that, like sentiment that, whatever you want to call it, that I almost feel like you have to when you get on a stage, like, and that's pretty much what happened.
Right.
So I got up and I was like, I was supposed to teach on a certain thing. And I think I just went 5 to 10 minutes rogue. And
sometimes you got to do it.
It was a blast.
Yeah.
It was a blast. I needed it. They needed it. It was like waves of cheers. Like they were excited when I came out and then another wave happened and I wanted to cheer back at them. It was like, oh my God, normalcy.
Right.
Absolute normalcy. So freaking cool. So the advance has been announced.
True.
Did my first major event, for those of you who've been like, what's been going on? First major event. I try to post a lot on my stories on Instagram and Facebook and Snapchat and all these places. Sometimes I don't do a good job, just like capturing what's going on. A lot of times people from the office will be texting me like, make sure you post that, and they'll be like, did you post it? And I'm like, I forgot. On one hand, that's not great, but on the other hand, it kind of means I'm living in the moment a little bit.
Exactly right.
You know what I mean? So like, what are you going to do? But I do try to find that, that balance between the two. Yeah. So those are what happened there. Let's talk about something that just happened recently. The Oscars just happened.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I did not watch it.
I didn't even know it was on.
Yeah. No. I thought that was later in the year, to be honest with you. But yeah,
I didn't even know the Oscars were on. Like I used to love the Oscars. It was like the biggest stars. By the way, they don't do hosts anymore.
What does that mean?
You don't know this?
No.
So remember how they were supposed to, so Kevin Hart was supposed to host.
Well, I remember that.
So Kevin Hart was supposed to host, and it was his dream, by the way, his whole life to host the Oscars. And then they went and brought up some tweet from 10 years ago.
Yeah, I remember that.
And they're like, you need to apologize. And he came out and he was like, I already apologized about this 10 years ago. I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
And then he quit and said, and good for him, by the way.
Yeah.
He said, screw you all. I'm done with cancel culture. I'm canceling myself. You guys have a good day. Then they, to not have a backup or like not be embarrassed, made it sound like, okay, well, we're just not going to have a host. And they've done that year after year now. It's horrid. Yeah. Like it's terrible. Now they have people who they don't call hosts, but they just keep coming up over and over again. And they're doing that now. I think I stopped watching the Oscars. Like, when you watch Hollywood celebrities that they live in their own world and they are in, pardon the pun with the movie, but they're in La La Land, in every way possible. Right. This year, they cleared out all the homeless, pushed them all away, built a Donald Trump style wall to keep them from getting back in while they were all there, put on their event, got up and gave all their political speeches about helping this person and that person, and tried to sound like the everyman, while they all got bags with $20,000 worth of goodies. They dress up like kings and queens and royalty in $1 million outfits and then lecture everybody about what bad people everybody is, and you need to be more like me.
Yeah.
I wonder why their ratings are in the crapper. Yeah. I literally didn't even know it was on.
Yeah, selfishly, I stopped watching. So usually when it comes to like award shows or like things that have like a winner and a loser, I get very passionate about it. I'm a pretty sore loser.
You are a sore loser?
Yeah. my wonderful significant other would definitely back that up for sure.
Really?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So the last Oscars I saw was when Leonardo DiCaprio was up for Wolf of Wall Street. He lost.
There's a story, by the way.
Okay. And I was upset. I was like, I'm never watching this again.
Why were you so pro Leo?
Because I was like, well, at that point, he had never won yet. He hadn't won yet.
Oh, so you were pulling for him.
I was like, that was a great movie.
It was a great movie. By the way, little side note, don't go watch it with your nieces in the theater.
Don't do that.
Opening scene.
Don't do that.
Talk about awkward. We're not gonna go into details here, but do you remember the opening scene?
I remember a lot of
my
scenes.
nieces next to me.
I remember
and
a lot
I'm
of
like,
scenes from that movie.
Oh God, that's the opener? I couldn't look at them.
Yeah.
Okay.
It did not get better from there though either.
Great movie, by the way.
Great movie, but yeah, not one to go watch with 13-year-olds.
It's not like should we watch Captain America or should we watch Wolf of Wall Street?
Nope.
Like
that's not it.
Yeah, that's not my
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ironically though, he did lose to Matthew McConaughey. So that's fun.
I love Matthew McConaughey.
I also love Matthew McConaughey.
How could you not love Matthew McConaughey?
I don't know.
By the way, we're going to cover the Matthew McConaughey thing in a second here,
yeah.
okay? So ratings for the Oscars were lowest ever, okay?
Yeah.
So talking about movies, do you know what I've done at my house now? Like what we started doing? I'm introducing, it's like if I were Jewish, it's my version of a bar mitzvah.
Okay.
My boys are becoming men, and the way that I'm doing it is every week we're watching the next Rocky.
Okay.
I'm introducing them to Rocky.
Great.
What do you think about that?
I love Rocky.
Freaking fantastic.
Great movies.
You know what you don't realize now?
I do not.
The original movies.
Yeah. not
big budget.
No.
They are. Yeah, they are. I'm sitting there, I'm talking up Rocky. Like it is the movie. I'm like, this is everybody, Rocky 1's the best. It's the original, it's whatever, right? About 3/4 of the way in the movie, I'm like, is this gonna pick up? This is pretty bad.
Yeah, it's
like this is,
it is
you
a bummer a
know,
little
and
bit.
then they start getting a budget in the later movies and it starts picking up and it starts, you know, whatever. We just finished Rocky 2, which they loved. Most people would fight between Rocky 3 and Rocky 4 being their favorite.
Yeah.
What?
It depends on the kind of person. I love Rocky 4. That's the one with
the Russian.
Yeah. That's a great one just because of how 80s it is.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
I must break you. Like, look, Rocky 3, Rocky 4, everybody fights. Do you know my favorite Rocky? This will tell you a lot about me.
You're gonna say like Creed?
That's not really Rocky.
Okay, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Who was it? They called Creed Black Rocky. Who was that? Who?
You're talking about the actor?
It was a comedian.
Oh, I don't know.
They hosted the Oscars, and they were talking about Creed, and he goes, "You know what I call Creed? Black Rocky." Who was it?
I don't know.
Oh my God, it's killing me. Those are great movies too. By the way, watch Creed 2 once on a plane.
Yeah.
I had to do one of those I'm not crying, you're crying things. The stewardess coming by. I got like a tear coming down. She has no idea what's going on. I just look like I'm sitting in my seat crying. And
get out of here.
Yeah, exactly. I say, get, you know? Yeah.
Leave the crackers.
My friend, leave the crackers. The pretzels can stay. You must go. Okay. My favorite Rocky, this will tell you everything about me. Balboa.
Okay.
The final Rocky.
Okay.
Balboa. So sentimental. It's got so many references to the past ones.
Yeah.
They give an actual send-off to him. What a lot of people don't realize is that final scene where he's in the arena and he comes out, the crowd's going nuts, and he waves to the audience, and he goes back and he's hugging the trainers and they're all crying. That was real.
Yeah.
That wasn't like okay guys, now whatever. They were like, no, we're gonna let it happen real. And everybody knew that was the last Rocky.
Yeah.
And the send-off, the whole movie, him struggling with his wife dying, him struggling with, you know, I still got stuff down at the base, you know, whatever. Like, that's my favorite Rocky.
Fair.
And yeah, amazing.
Fair.
So anyway, you mentioned, I'm going to call him our boy.
I would.
If you don't have a thing for Matthew McConaughey, are you even alive?
Well, first of all, if you don't have a thing for Matthew McConaughey, have you read his book? Secondly, if you've read his book, do you have a heart?
All right, talk about it. The book is
fantastic.
No, I was going to say the name.
Oh, Green Lights.
Now, what's funny is my wife was reading Green Lights, and first off, I listened to. He must have done every podcast in the world, everything but ours. We should have invited. I should have invited him. But he did every podcast in the world. So I was listening. I listened to him on Rogan. I listened to him on Mark, what's his name? I listened to him, you know, and I've always loved McConaughey.
Of course.
I've loved him because he's so counter Hollywood.
Yep.
He's like the guy that is not like them, but he's too good and too successful for them to kick out like they do everybody else who doesn't agree with them.
Yep.
And so I was just like, there's something about him I like. I feel like we think the same in that, you know, like I said, he's very counter, he questions things. He's secretly very smart.
Very smart.
You know what I mean? Like, I think he doesn't get, you know, he's all right. And everybody just kind of assumes he's playing bongos naked and, you know, whatever. I don't think people realize what a thinker he is. Like, he's actually like philosophically like intelligent.
Yeah.
And I think that book kind of, it was entertaining.
Yeah.
But I think it kind of brought out, you know, that intelligent side that I'm not sure. And he's already talking about writing another one now.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell everybody how much you enjoyed that book.
I enjoyed that book very much.
Why?
Because it's the craziest thing about that book is like, it's sometimes hard to believe that it's real.
Right. And the thing is, he says that in the book, he leaves stuff out.
How? By being Matthew McConaughey, that's how.
How about how his dad called his shot?
Yeah.
I mean, do you know there's a part that's not in the book? So guys, there's a part in the book where his dad continually tells him and his brothers or whatever, let me tell you how I'm going to leave this world. I'm going to make love to your mother and then I'm going to die.
Yep.
And sure as crap, that dude did just that.
Yeah.
Right? Now, the part that wasn't in the book was when they're wheeling him out, his dead body, and they've got the blanket over him.
Yeah.
This is so freaking crazy. It's ridiculous.
Yep.
This is Matthew McConaughey's life.
Matthew McConaughey's life. Yeah, of course.
The wife, the mother,
Yeah.
his mother, runs out after he just died after making love to her, pulls up the sheet and says, I'm not letting him go out. The world is going to know why his name is Big Jim, and pulls the blanket off him. Are you kidding me right now?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
No.
I mean,
Yeah. Matthew McConaughey, man.
Matthew McConaughey.
His life is not real, but it is.
It's unreal. It's unreal.
Yeah, that is a great book. So I bought the hardcover first. I didn't know about the audiobook until like a few weeks after that. And then once I heard Ronette talking about it, or
Yeah.
you talking about it
Yeah.
yeah. I was like, I gotta get the audiobook. So last week I got the audiobook and
He reads it.
it is amazing. Yeah, he
Yeah.
does read it.
Yeah.
That's the selling point right there. Yeah.
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 Yeah,
Of course.
that's-
I have to get it. I have to get it now. Yeah.
I mean, we all would like to be Matthew McConaughey. I mean, it's just the career he's had, the longevity, when he took the stand, the stance of like, because he was just doing rom-coms.
Right.
And then he turns down millions of dollars to do another rom-com. And he's like, no, I'm not going to do this anymore. And he leaves the industry for like 3 years,
Yep.
which it means like career over.
Right.
And then he gets back in as a respected actor, wins an Oscar.
Yep.
You ever heard his speech?
Yeah.
This is back when I used to like the Oscars.
Yeah.
You ever heard his speech at the Oscar, Who's Your Hero? It's myself 10 years from now.
Yeah.
He talks about chasing it,
Yep.
chasing it. You're never going to get it. Chasing it, chasing it. You always have to have something to look forward to, something, whatever. And I'm like, it's such a great speech.
It was a great speech.
It's Matthew McConaughey.
Of course it is.
I mean,
Yeah.
I might be in love.
I mean, I wouldn't blame you.
He would be up there now as one of my favorite actors.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially as we know more and more about people personally.
Yep.
I think he might be up there.
I put him up in one of those categories where like I respect him so greatly.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't know him personally, but
You didn't have to
I feel
tell
like
us
I
that.
do.
You didn't have to tell us that. We knew.
you don't know. You don't know who I know.
We knew.
All right.
Believe it or not, we don't text back and forth. I know it's a shock to everyone.
I've got his number. We don't text back.
Yeah, we don't like to. Yeah. What else happened? I went on vacation. I went to Jamaica, brought the family. We went with 2 other families, and it just reinforced. First off, I've been shocked how many people have like when people ask me about my podcast, and I'm like, it's almost like when someone is like a movie star, and like, what do they yell at you? Like Matthew McConaughey, they're like, all right, or they just like whatever. I think my episode on my trip to Tulum, my boys' trip, is brought up to me more than any other episode.
Really?
It's shocking to me. It's the one that everybody's like, right on. That's right. That's right. Right. Because I think I said in that episode, I'm like, why do we not do things that make us happy?
Right.
Like, why do we, I think I brought up the example and I was like, when I said I was going to Tulum with my boys or whatever, one of my guy friends in town was like, man, that's cool with that. And I was like, why wouldn't she be?
Yeah.
And he's just like, why, you getting away with that? I'm like, getting away? What? This is our mentality, right? Yeah. So in the same way, as much as I love my boys' trips, and believe me, we're doing more. We got an annual trip to Tulum now.
Nice.
Just the trips in general, like bringing my family away was just, I mean, you know, I go to a lot of different states. You don't get to experience this. You just live in Connecticut. True. So you don't get to I go to these, you know, you want to call them red states, blue states. It's just red states are open, blue states are closed. Yeah. I'm not being political. It's just reality. That's what happens. Yeah. Right. So I go to these red states. It's like the only place where they're doing live events. So I'm there a lot. And I go to them and they're completely open. They are like normal life, everything's whatever. And then I fly back home and I'm just like, oh my God. Like as soon as I come back again, you know, vacation was a lot like that, you know, didn't wear a mask for a week. Freaking awesome. We all get tested for COVID the day before we leave at the resort. And it's like the prerequisite to get back into America, right? And boy, did the COVID test there. It's like some places you go and they just take the edge of your nose. Yeah. Some places they go for a brain exam. Yeah. And I talked to a doctor, he's like, it's not necessary. He's like, you can get just as much just going right here. So I say to the person when I'm getting the test, I'm like, why do you need to stick this thing up to my brain? Like it is uncomfortable. And he's swabbing up there for 5 seconds. And he goes, look at the picture. Look at the picture. And I said, get a different picture. Yeah. Like, you're telling me you're doing it because the picture says it? Like, I'll get you a new picture if that's what you need. Not a problem. Stop touching my brain with this thing, right? So we go there for the week. It was absolutely amazing. Just sun. I got a little less pale looking. Probably gained a few pounds. I played a soccer game. They were calling me Golden Boot while I was there because I played soccer. I used to be a soccer player, right? And my son is a big soccer player now. Of course. So he talks me into going out there. We're playing barefoot. Mm-hmm. I skid my toes along the ground. I thought I broke it, but I kept playing because you can play through at the moment. So when like you're playing a sport and you envision something in your head of what you're going to do, but it never ends up like what it's supposed to look like. Like in your head, you're like a superstar and it happens and you're like, whoa, and everybody's cheering and it's amazing and whatever, right? But then it never actually ends up that way.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a star athlete.
Okay, all right. Well, for most of our listeners, that's how it happens. So playing soccer, the ball's coming to me and I envision what I'm about to do with this little flick behind, go in the goal, between the guy's legs, whatever. It happens exactly like that.
Really?
Place is going nuts. The workers are like, oh my God. I act like it's nothing. I just trot off like it's nothing. The rest of the week, they call me Golden Boot, which is what you give the greatest soccer player in the world. Okay. So literally throughout the week, we'll just be sitting there and the staff will be sitting there like having a drink. It's 2:00, whatever. We're sitting at the pool. And all of a sudden the staff will be like, Golden Boot. And I'll start waving. And little do they know I'm limping around now because my toe, I can't move.
You got turf toe.
Oh, it was bad, man. It was real bad. But anyway, it was amazing. It was only 14% capacity. Nice. It was cheaper than ever. We went to Beaches Ocho Rios, which usually when you go to beaches, you pay for the name, but it's not as nice as another resort, which doesn't have the name. But it was 14% capacity. It was cheap. It was, the kids had the run of the place. It was, we made a decision while we were there, rather than going on the excursion, $125 a person to go jump off a cliff. The guy that drove us from the airport, or drove my friend from the airport to the resort, we paid him privately on a day to take us around. And then we went to the same place and paid $12 a person. Wow. And he brought us to local joints for lunch. He brought us to little tip when you go on vacation. There it is. All right. Don't pay the excursion through the, whatever. Get a guy private and go do it that way.
I think I'm actually going there.
To Jamaica?
Yeah.
What part?
I don't know. We're going for our honeymoon, but I have no idea where we're going.
I feel like you should know this.
I should.
Do you actually have a place booked yet?
No. It's a cruise.
Oh, but you said, but it is booked?
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, we booked it like 3 years ago.
You might want to cancel that, get a full refund and rebook because everything is super cheap right now.
We did that.
Yeah, I'm not even kidding. Like we just looked at, I think next year we're going to go to Mexico with the same families. Like, I don't know how much people know about pricing and all that kind of stuff, but when I go now, it's considered 4 adults because my kids are going to be over 12 now. Yep. Both of them will be. One will be 13, one will be 15 when we go. 4 adults, oceanfront premier, best room you can get, suite, on the on the ocean, whatever. Yeah. At an all-inclusive jacuzzi on your deck, overlooking the ocean, like the whole thing. You want to guess what that costs?
No.
Take a guess.
I don't know.
It's ridiculous right now, like ridiculously cheap for what those vacations cost. Do you want to take a guess? Do you even have any context?
No.
Okay.
No, I've never
So I'll
booked
tell
one
you
of
what
these
it,
in my
I'll tell you
entire
what, I'll
life.
tell you what it costs.
Okay.
It showed up as like $3,800 and something,
Sure.
which is super cheap for that.
Okay.
Then it turns out I'm a member of this thing. It brings it down to like $3,400.
Nice.
Do you know how ridiculously it's because they're trying to book these places. You still got a lot of people afraid to go. So I was like, let's book it now before everyone, stops being afraid.
Right.
And they, just like, remember when the stock market dropped like crazy and I was telling everybody in the office, buy. Everybody's afraid right now. Buy. Yeah. It's the same kind of a thing. Ridiculously cheap to go take advantage. So anybody who's watching right now, book your next year's vacation like right now. Like pause this, go book it. Prices are going to skyrocket. I'm telling you right now though, ridiculously cheap, which is awesome. So anyways, we went on vacation, came back from that. I'm always ready. I don't know about you, but like, I'm ready to come back a couple days before while I'm there.
Yeah. So there's a certain point, like at the beginning, it's like, I could live here forever.
Yeah.
And then like,
you're like, it's paradise.
Yeah. 2 or 3 days in, it's like, all right, cool.
Dude, we were waking up Bloody Marys, eating like, we were on the Green Mile. Yeah. Walking to our death or something. Like, after a few days, you're just kind of like, I can't keep this up.
Yeah.
I'm ready to get back. It's awesome, but I'm ready to get back to, normal life. So we did that, came back from normal life, and I switched my barber of 27 years.
Yeah, it is older than me.
27 years, man. Yeah. And it's actually my barber's husband.
How's
so
that going?
She is kind of semi-retired.
Yeah.
With my schedule, especially now that I'm getting back to traveling now,
of course.
With my schedule, it's like a lot of times I'll fly in and I'll be like, I'm in for 30 minutes. I need a haircut. I got to go. And now that she switched to part-time, like I don't have that flexibility with her. So I was just like, I got to make a move.
Yeah.
And I'd rather keep it in-house with their family. So I switched over to him, which has been a good move. He actually watches this.
Oh, cool.
So Jimmy, what's up, man? How you doing? I think he wants to do a podcast together. Should thrown out a couple of hints. He seems like a personality. Tatted up fully. I mean, that right there tells you personality, right?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. He's got like the no-fly zone beard. Not no-fly zone, what do you call it? Like, I forget what you call it. Yeah, so maybe, Jimmy, maybe, if you're watching this, maybe we'll do that, okay? But switch barbers, that's been a big thing that's happened recently. A couple other big things that happened. Not only we do our first live event, I can't tell you with who, and I can't tell you everything else, but just booked a tour, 6-city tour that'll be coming up actually this summer. So I'm going to be in Chicago. I'm going to be in Charlotte. I'm going to be in Cleveland. I'm going to be in Orlando. I'm going to be in, I should probably know this, but I'm forgetting right now. Atlanta. What did I miss? I'll be in Toledo for my buddy Mangus's office. I'm going to be in Austin, Texas.
Hang out with our boy, man.
Who's our boy? Oh, yes. McConaughey.
Of course.
Well, you have his number. Tell him I'm coming.
All right.
We'll take care of that. So we booked a tour. So things are starting to come back a little bit, as far as that's concerned. Yep. Did you get vaccinated?
I got the first shot. I'm getting the second shot next week.
Did you see the stuff that Joe Rogan got all sorts of crap because he told 21-year-olds that are healthy? He was like, if I was 21 and healthy, I wouldn't get the vaccine.
No.
You didn't see that?
No.
Yeah. So they gave him a bunch of crap for it.
Of course.
I actually agree with him. So.
I mean, a lot of what Joe Rogan says, he gets a lot of crap for, which is,
But he's so logical, though. That's the thing. Like, he didn't say anything. Right. If you look at the articles that are bashing him, it's always the same people, too. But if you look at the articles, they don't go into anything that's fact-based. Right. They don't go into anything that is, they just call him stupid, it's like, let's talk about the facts. Because everybody says, let's follow the science. Like, I got vaccinated. I got the J&J.
Yep.
The one shot done because I've got international events this fall. I think they're going to require it in order to travel internationally. Yeah. So I'm like, let me go get it done. I am not, for everybody listening right now, I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I'm full. Yep. I'm also not for doing it for people who don't need it, for shooting chemicals into their body that we don't know what the repercussions are. We don't know what it does to pregnancy. It's not FDA approved. It's not, whatever. So like my whole thing was always like, hey, if you're at risk, if you're a senior, if you're whatever, you absolutely should be getting, but now they're talking about like, the next round for college kids and everything else. And I'm like, why the hell would college kids be shooting? They're not at any risk. Yeah. But they have a better chance of getting dying of, drinking too much beer at the next, whatever. So I got it. I think a lot of the state got it.
Sure.
You got it.
I did. I got the Moderna.
There's a lot of states right now that are starting to open fully. Our state, by the way, I give our state credit for, quote unquote blue state.
Yep.
Our state's been we've been ahead of the blue curve, and we're not ahead of like a lot of the red states, but for blue, we're opening fully on May 19th.
May 19th.
Like no restriction, no restaurant restriction, no, you still have to wear a mask indoor.
Yep.
The CDC released the other day that, if you're vaccinated, you really don't need to be wearing one outdoors. We already knew that. Even if you're not, the science says you don't need to, but I look at the CDC and these people like attorneys, where they're always going to be more conservative on, if you let an attorney run a business, if you let them make the decisions, that attorney is going to always cover themselves. They would take no risk. That's their job. That's how I feel like the country's kind of at right now. They keep going to Fauci.
Yeah.
And Fauci's job is to kind of be like, this could happen. That could happen. This, you know what I'm saying?
A lot of things could happen.
That's exactly my point. Right. And that's kind of how I see it. It's nice that we're starting to open up. There's states. Did you see in Texas, the stadium there for the Rangers? They did full capacity, almost 50,000 people for their opening game for baseball.
That's awesome.
Everybody freaked out.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And then nothing happened.
Right.
And so now you never heard about it again. It's like, oh, leave it alone.
Well, there were some football stadiums that were doing that last season.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. Apparently COVID acts different in different states, depending on who the people so we're starting to see though, I am happy that a lot of people have gotten vaccinated. Not so much that a lot, but I'm happy that the people who needed to be.
Yep.
I'm for that. Like, I'm for medicine. It just seems like in most things today, it's like we go so freaking extreme. Mm-hmm. So we go from seniors should get vaccinated and people who are at risk should get vaccinated to when are the children getting? And it's like, wait, the children are at risk?
Yeah.
They're at no risk. Like, well, why would they get vaccinated? And
right.
we just tend to go so freaking extreme. And this is why I said I love a guy like McConaughey, because a guy like me who kind of, in almost all things, kind of lives in the middle and is very rational and is very, you can't tell me in the beginning to follow the science. And then when the CDC comes out and says, kids should be in school and the teacher should be teaching, whether they're vaccinated or not, they're very low risk. They should be there. And then all of a sudden the union comes out and goes, no, we're not going back. It's like, okay, so we're not following science anymore. Right. I'm very rational, like what's going on here? What's, whatever. Yeah. So the last couple of years has been tough.
A little bit, yeah. I'd say that.
Country's like a big group think tank.
Yeah.
Everybody's the same. Everybody's whatever. But anyway, so you got it. How was it? You get sick or anything?
Yeah, well, no, not so much. I mean, I got I started feeling feverish, not immediately not that night, but the next night. I felt a little bit feverish, but I got ahead of it with some ibuprofen and some coffee, and I was good to go.
That's the funny thing is the one with the 2 shots, like a Moderna and the other one, they said that the side effects on that were like fever, those. In many cases, it's worse than if a lot of those people actually got COVID.
Right.
But they literally were getting really sick.
Yep.
The one from mine, the J&J, was exhaustion.
Yep.
So I was like, hey, what's the worst case? I get a couple extra nights sleep. Like good night's sleep. And I was, by the way, the exhaustion hit me bad.
Yeah.
There were days that I was sitting in here. You guys didn't know this. I wanted to close my eyes. I was sitting there and I was watching from a cloud. Mm-hmm. I was just I do not have anything right now.
Yep.
I'm dead right now,
Yeah,
and the only reason I wasn't worried about it or anything was that they told me that could be exhaustion is one of the things. So,
of course.
What else is going on? We hired, what do you have? 4 new people here?
Feels like more, but it
might be more.
Probably, maybe.
Well, there's been at least in the last couple of weeks 4. We have the 2 TCs, transaction coordinators.
Yep.
So for any of you that got locked out of the transaction coordination, those 2 are back. I mean, we just added 2 more who are now fully trained and ready to go. And you know what? Before I do that, I want to do something. We're changing things up a little bit. We usually put the sponsors in the beginning. So really quickly, if you're watching this, we're going to get back to this in a second. But if you're watching this, we do things a little bit different here where I don't really have paid sponsors for the show. We get offered them all the time, but really we just kind of promote my own company, right? So if you're watching this right now, this episode is brought to you by the parent company, Jared James Enterprises, where we do coaching and training and speaking and all of those kinds of things. And it's also brought to you by our other company, the sister company, Jarja Media, where, I mean, we do all sorts of things. We have a CRM with my built-in follow-ups and so many other things we've added, which you guys will release soon, which you work on that side of the company.
Sure do.
We do transaction coordination for people, which is amazing. We do marketing for people. You get your own personalized marketing rep. We do so many things with these places. So if you need training, coaching, speaking, you need a CRM, you need transaction coordination, you need marketing, any of those things, check out jaredjamestoday.com. Or jarjamedia.com, JARJA media.com. But yeah, 4 people.
Yep.
2 TCs, brought on a salesperson.
Yep.
Joe. Mm-hmm. I'm going to get myself in trouble if I start trying to name everybody, because that's the thing in our office. I forget people's names.
There are a lot of things in the office, to be honest with you, but that's one of them.
That is true. And we brought on a new marketer.
Yeah.
There are a lot of things in the office.
There are a lot of things in the office.
That is an interesting comment right there. Should I even dig into that?
None of them are terrible.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah.
That's one of them, though.
That's definitely one of them.
I've forgotten names from time to time.
Yes.
And it's just the way my brain works. It's not because I don't care about people or I don't. It's just like, and I love you guys. Like, sometimes my head is in other places. And when you put me on the spot, I'm like, it's not coming to me right now.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. That's, that is something that absolutely happens. Yeah. But another major thing happened too. Mm-hmm. You had a little surgery.
I did.
Tell us about that.
Yeah. So the last time I was on the podcast, I think I said something like I tore a lat or something like that. Turns out that was not the case because so I went to physical therapy and all that. It was just not getting better. So I ended up getting an MRI and all that fun stuff. And they were like, yeah, you herniated another disc. And I was like,
you're too young to be like, I don't get it.
3 now. I've had 3 before the age of 26. So that was cool. Got that surgery done. And it was.
You had a major surgery.
Yeah.
Are you still wearing the?
No, I got that off Monday. I had a Velcro back brace. I was just wearing sweatshirts for like a month. Yeah.
God.
Yeah, it was.
I remember you came
awesome.
in one of the days and I was like, dang, I guess without being able to move around, I'm like, he put on some weight. Yeah. But it turned out it was just, I didn't realize you had a big thing around your waist. I was like, holy crap, look at this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I probably would have said it to you too.
Maybe
I did.
You did.
Oh, I did.
You did.
There you go. Like
happened.
I said, I more than.
You put on some weight there. I was like, no, this is a back brace. And you were like, oh, you're running.
At least you know that I'm being honest with you.
100%.
You know what I mean?
I appreciate
that. It's going to call you out. It's going to be like, hey, as soon as that back heals, you need to get back into it.
Yeah. Yeah. Surgery was fun though. Yeah. Post-surgery was even more fun. Oh yeah.
Drugs?
No. Well, so, I had those, but dude, it was a rough time.
What about for the surgery? Did you any drugs for the surgery as well?
No, I was completely awake the entire time. Yeah, it was great.
Not talking about your recreational.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, you really picked up on that. It just showed how pure Tom is because he did not pick up on that on any level.
No.
Tom, so that everybody knows, doesn't drink, doesn't anything. Like we do happy hour and he's doing Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Peppers. Yes.
Yeah, it's what was the thing? Because Connecticut just did a thing where from May 19th to May 31st, if you show proof of vaccination, you get a free drink at participating restaurants.
Yeah.
And so we had a big group thread, going throughout the office about which restaurants and blah, blah, blah. And then Tom's like, who does the best
Shirley Temples?
Shirley Temples. And he's kind of serious.
I'm dead serious, actually.
All right. So that happened.
Yeah.
We also just had a big month here. We have the PPC.
We do.
Party Planning Committee. I think everybody knows that you're the head of the Party Planning Committee.
I am.
And something you've been really big on this last month or last week or month has been the stress awareness.
Stress awareness month.
Because it's Stress Awareness Month.
It is Stress Awareness.
And you've had a different message almost daily.
Yeah. Well, every weekday. Yes.
Just to all the employees, just kind of ways to deal with stress, things to do.
Yep.
So I think that's really important. That's something that we try to, we try to promote here.
I send that out to the whole office. I usually start out with a poorly photoshopped picture of me somewhere. That always gets a chuckle or two.
Yep.
And then I, find a good source and we do some tips for stress relief.
It was nice. Cool. That's nice. And speaking of poorly photoshopped pictures,
yes,
let's talk about DMX. Because So I think you were surprised to hear, you weren't even alive probably, but I was a big DMX fan. I had a period of my high school career where the clothes still don't fit me. They were too big.
Mm-hmm.
I had a little bit of my homeboy stage, and I was into DMX, and I did not know this until right before here. You apparently have a Photoshop picture of me that comes up anytime I call. Call your phone or call the office?
Call, email, yeah, pretty much anything. Yeah.
I mean, this could be grounds for firing.
That's fair.
Has anyone seen this picture?
I think actually. So first of all, I did not.
Let's see the picture.
Sure. So
I want to walk that over and show it to the camera.
I did not Photoshop this picture.
Can I see it first? What is this? For all of you listening right now, you're gonna have to watch the YouTube version. Oh my God.
So first of all, I didn't do this.
Why don't you show that to the camera? No, walk
I have
up.
to walk over there?
Just walk up. See if your mic will do it. We'll do it live. Okay. Go ahead. Show that to the camera. See if that works.
Is that working?
Yep. There it is. Bam. There's the Photoshop. That needs to be the screenshot. Hold it in the middle a little bit more so that me and you can be seen. Not over me, in the middle of us. And then look at the camera. That needs to be right there, the screenshot of this episode on YouTube. So apparently this exists. When was this made?
Okay, so first things first, I didn't make this. My dad, who's a TC here, actually made that.
Do you guys have like a dartboard at home where you're like throwing darts at me or something?
No, that's just a fun.
I'm supposed to take that as love?
I think so. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know when like specifically this was made. I think it was made. I remember it was during the lockdown last year.
And you were bored, and you guys were like, "I'll tell you what I'll do. Let's make a Photoshop version of Jared looking like a home slice, and we'll add it so that it's his profile pic whenever he calls the office, email, text. This is what went down. I just want to make sure I'm clear.
No, I have no idea. There was something that was happening either in like the group thread, or it was something that happened during like one of the happy hours. I'm not totally sure, but that's what happened during after one of those. I think I actually put it in the group chat too.
I don't remember, but
yeah. And I was like, well, that's immediately needs to be the contact picture. So yeah, anytime you send me an email, call me. I see that, and it
So on that note, DMX passed away. For those of you that don't know, that are watching right now, that was just a rapper who just a conflicted person that a lot of people followed and knew, especially more like in the 90s. Whatever. What is your I get my connection because I was around when Cradle to the Grave and he was like big. How do you have any do you think I'm talking about the bike right now, like BMX?
No.
How do you have any connection to DMX?
So
no one looks at Tom and goes, "Tell you what that guy is, a fan of DMX."
There's a lot. So my taste in music is pretty all encompassing. Just found out actually the last couple weeks I actually like country, so that's fun. Didn't know
new country or old country?
Oh, but I've always liked old country, but
really?
New country is something that I didn't know that I liked.
Fun picnic music.
I still don't know that I'm into all new country. I don't think I am.
Pro or con on yea or nay on Garth Brooks?
Depends on the song.
Come on, that guy's got to put on a heck of a concert.
Well, he's the one that does Red Solo Cup, right?
Are you serious right now?
Is he?
That's Toby Keith.
Oh crap.
Are you serious? You just put that out into the interwebs for everyone?
This is what I'm saying. I said within the last couple of weeks, I just figured out that I may be country. I don't know them
Friends in
specifically.
Low Place. I mean, are you kidding me right now?
I do like Friends in Low Places.
Are you kidding right now?
I'm not kidding.
That guy has had every country. He has had more country hits himself than probably the rest of country altogether.
I always lob those two together. I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Did you just say Red Solo Cup?
I do that song's kind of weird.
You think I Love This Bar came from Garth Brooks?
No, that's not him.
This is just.
Wait, did it though?
This just went downhill. Tell me about DMX.
Anyway, so I was
what?
I've always kind of known who DMX was. I wasn't super into his music or anything like that, but I always
Sure, you're not mixing him up with Jay-Z right now? You just thought that Garth Brooks was Toby Keith.
They have kind of the same voice. Am I wrong about that?
Just move on.
Anyway,
we'll edit this out.
So I always kind of knew who DMX was, but then when I was in college, or maybe around that point, one of my college friends actually sent me a video of DMX doing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I don't know if you've ever seen this, but it is golden.
No, I've never seen this.
So first of all, he made that video, and then I guess that video got so popular that he
like
actually,
in his voice, like Rudolph. Like
he's pounding the table and everything. It's amazing. If you have not seen that video, you got to watch it.
I've not seen that video.
So then after that, he actually recorded it. He has a video or an actual song of him doing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. It's on Spotify.
But that's your connection to him?
I mean, that's how I really started getting into him. I mean, like I've listened to like obviously his other stuff.
But you weren't like listening to the anthem or like listening to, you were just basically like.
Well, that was like my intro into him. Yeah.
Yeah. So when I heard it, first off, they had announced. So when they said, well, let's just be honest, he was a drug addict.
Yeah.
That's how he died. He had his demons and couldn't get over them. And he once told a friend that it was his job to carry everybody else's burdens. Like he just had a very tough life. But when he went into the hospital, there was a report that he was out and fine, that he had recovered and was fine. And it was an inaccurate report because it was that very next day that he had passed away. But that was, you know, he wasn't my favorite. I'm not going to go that far. He wasn't like my favorite, but I did listen to him a lot in a certain period of my life. Was sad to hear it. You know, when I hear about someone like that dying, it's almost like when I see like Peyton Manning retire.
Yep.
It makes me feel really old because I remember when Peyton Manning was drafted.
Yep.
And I was like very young, and I'm like, Peyton Manning's retiring? What do you mean he's retiring? Like, I've watched your whole career. Yeah. I'm getting older. You know what I mean? That's kind of how I feel when I see that. You know, you're sad obviously for the family and all that stuff. I mean, you know, he obviously could have made better decisions and whatever, but he did, you know, bring a lot of joy to a lot of people.
Of course.
And it was one of my favorites. I was shocked to hear, the only reason we're even bringing it up because I was shocked to hear that you even knew who he was, let alone had seen a video of him doing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
I'm surprised that you've not seen that. I
don't think this day is gonna end without me seeing it.
It shouldn't.
I think I'm going to. So
you're gonna have to do that.
We got to close this up, man. This has been a long conversation.
It's good conversation.
We are here to entertain. For everybody listening, as I said, guys, you enjoy this. These are just kind of, we're going to do like these like once a month where we just say what's been going on. We'll talk about current events. We'll have some fun with it. I'm going to shoot some others probably tomorrow or the next day. There'll be some more coming out now, but I'll do more like training, teaching stuff and talk about, you know, the entrepreneurial journey and that stuff. These are just fun. If I can just be 100% transparent, I just shot like 14 videos and I'm like, Tom, I can't do anything serious right now. Like I just need to talk about how bad the Oscars suck. You know, I just need to, you know what I mean? So that's what this is, guys. I hope you enjoyed this while you were running or working out or throwing darts at a dartboard with me on it, like Tom and his father do, apparently.
Photoshopping him onto
Photoshopping things. Yeah, that's exactly right. But guys, if you enjoyed this, give it a great review, guys, on the platform you're on. Subscribe, share it with someone else. We'll have more coming out real soon. Check out, I just released a video on YouTube on different ways that you can be winning offers, like more that are not things you would normally do. I'm not talking about like the normal everyday, everybody knows, do an escalation clause type of things. I'm talking about some abnormal ones that maybe you're not thinking of. So make sure you go check that out. Give that a thumbs up. Love you guys. I hope to see some of you in person soon. Hope to get a chance to work with a lot of you either through Jared James Enterprises or through Jarja Media. Again, coaching, training, speaking. And then on the Jarja side, we have CRM, transaction coordination, which every single one of you in real estate should be using, marketing services, whatever you need on that end. Hope you enjoyed this, guys. Until next time, hopefully I'll see you soon in person. Have a good one.
See ya.